Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. So we are here with this guy named Oren Greer. He's about to hit 1,000 subscribers, bro. Amazing. Uh, happy early congratulations for 1,000 subscribers. He made this video 2 months ago saying my experience upgrading to Switch 2, is it worth it? And bro, I got the Switch 1 and I'm thinking of buying Switch 2, but I made another video back then, not back then, but like 3, 4 days ago, right? On like how the Steam Deck changed, like made me regret buying the Switch 2, and that kind of made me convince me to buy the Steam Deck instead of the Switch 2. But let's see, and also let's see if this like makes me more, like if this convinces me even more in buying the Steam Deck or the Switch 2, cause
The
I don't know,
Nintendo
man.
Switch was a revolutionary console when it came out in 2017. Nintendo were coming off a pretty disastrous
Yeah,
run for the
horrible.
Wii U, and the 3DS had already been out for a solid 6 years at this point,
That's
and was
crazy.
pretty much the more loved Nintendo console. So they were left with two options when it came to their home console. Either make a brand new one and see if they can capture the magic the Wii had gotten. Nothing will ever capture the magic of the Wii except a Wii 2, or
Alright,
bank
bro.
on the handheld market and fully pivot to the
The
3DS.
3DS,
Well, they decided to do both
both.
and neither at
Yeah,
the same time, and they just kind of created a
that
hybrid
was actually
gaming
good.
wonder that we know and love today. I got my original Switch Christmas of 2017.
I think I got it in 2021 or 2020. No, I think it was 23 or 24. I don't know. Yeah, it was
Shout
23,
out mom
24.
with Mario Odyssey and Breath of the
The
Wild.
old
And
version.
oh boy, this thing had me hooked. I love that while at home, I got the full TV experience, but when visiting family or going on trips during marching band, I could pack that sucker up and take it with me on the go. Like,
Mm.
genuinely, this thing was a major factor in why people in high school saw me as a nerd. Well, it's
Wow.
2025 now, and up until now, I've been rocking that original Nintendo Switch I got with the original kickstand and everything. But as time goes on and Nintendo has done what they always do and released multiple versions that are better, and oh
Yep.
my god, I'm fucking stuck without an OLED, I figured it was time
I
to
have another
finally
day.
upgrade. And thankfully, Nintendo had finally just released the sequel to this great console,
Switch 2.
the Switch 2, a much needed refresh of the Switch 1, which was getting outclassed by other consoles.
Yep.
Except this wasn't really a refresh, it was Nintendo's next generation. Looking at the Switch 2, you have a lot of compelling upgrades, sort of. You have a bigger screen, except unlike the OLED model, it's not OLED, and we're back to an LCD
It's so
screen.
dumb,
In
bro.
classic Nintendo fashion, we are going 2 steps forward with this
Yep.
system, but
No
one
one step
step
back.
back. Or you could go 5 steps back if you're the Wii U. But
Alright,
still,
bro.
the screen is nice, and so far I've had no trouble enjoying this thing in handheld mode. The
I
battery
want to
is
play the game
also
so bad.
larger, but due to increased hardware, the Switch 2's battery is actually shorter than its OLED counterpart. The Joy-Cons are better though, I will give them that. Some people have still had some stick drift issues, but thankfully, I'm not those people, so not my problem, not a complaint. I use them every time I play Mario Kart, as my fiance likes to use the Pro Controller, and
Dang,
so
this
far,
dude already got a
I still win.
fiance, bro.
Lastly,
Congrats,
a
too.
new kickstand, which comes in handy when charging it from the top USB port. That's right, we finally got a charging port on top of this bad thing. Instead of the one on the bottom that's hard to play with while charging and it bends on your chest when it's poking you and you're trying to lay in bed, try to play Animal Crossing and it gets on your thing, it gets annoying, and then as you can tell, I don't like the bottom USB charging port.
Yeah.
With these upgrades and changes, I was excited to try out some of the games on the Switch 2. And well, we'll get into that, but first I have to talk about the lack of games, as well as the fucking price of these games. $70 for a game is outrageous, and I'm going to flat out
Outrageous,
say
bro.
that for any console, not just Nintendo. It makes it so hard to get excited for any new release.
And okay, I get physical, maybe physical $70, right? Maybe, but digital, bro, full price 70, 80, $90, bro. A digital copy that they could just freaking take. If you like, if something happens or something, they could just take it away from you. It's outrageous,
Because
bro.
of the
I'm tired
pricing.
of people saying,
Oh, a new
like,
Kirby
being
game and a new
complacent about
Mario
it.
game came out at the same time. You better
Right?
pick and choose because that would be $140
Insane for two
for
games.
2 games. I love Nintendo games, but oh my god, this shit makes me want to die. Also, the Switch 2
Facts.
released with like 70% third party and ports and non Nintendo games.
Oh wow.
Cyberpunk is cool on the
Now
Switch
I'm
2.
getting
It's
Steam
one of
Deck.
my favorite FPS RPGs of all time, and I will be replaying it on my Switch 2. Playing handicap basketball is also an interesting choice, but it looks cool. But dude, some of these major releases are just Switch 1 upgrades, like the Zelda
And
games.
$10.
So unless the Switch is the only console you own or you genuinely have not played certain games, some of the Switch 2 library that it's releasing with is going to feel like a repeat. And that
Yeah.
sucks because you want to get excited for release titles. So just be aware of that. So, my Switch came with Mario Kart World, and then I also bought Donkey Kong Bonanza, and my fiance
140,
bought Animal Crossing. On top of this,
210.
my Switch 1 library is backwards compatible, so I had some decent games to play and
Yeah.
test this out. The Switch 1 games don't look much better as they were designed for the Switch 1, and when you design it for certain hardware, putting it on new hardware doesn't change much, but they do run better, and it does improve
Oh yeah.
performance and load times, so it's still an upgrade. Mario Kart World is a blast. I can't lie. I want to say that it's the same old thing, but it's pretty fun. I finished every Grand Prix 150cc the day we got the Switch 2 because it was that addicting. Also, the way you unlock costumes by finding food during the races is pretty seamless and a unique way to do unlocks instead of just beating every race. You have to actually like plan ahead a little bit. Playing with others is also pretty fun. I've done a couple online matches, but dude, some of these shortcut sweats have been hard to deal with. Like, look at this shit. I can't do that. How am I supposed to remember that?
How's
I don't
that
want to learn this for every
impossible?
track. Still a fun game though. Donkey Kong Bonanza is the peak. The team behind
For
Mario
real?
Odyssey created this game, so you knew they were gonna cook up something
Oh,
sweet.
bro, it's Mario Odyssey alone, bro.
And oh
Yeah.
boy, you can tell. It is everything that made Mario Odyssey a Game of the Year contender, cranked up to 11. Because Donkey Kong can smash through
And
the
they are a
terrain,
Game of the Year, by the
level
way.
design
They're a
becomes
nominee for Game of the Year.
so much more engrossing and unique and really makes you just enjoy being this giant monkey that breaks everything. I literally spent 30 minutes in the tutorial level smashing dirt like a wind-up monkey toy because I just kept getting things. This game is what made buying the Switch 2 feel worth it for me personally. Having a Nintendo game that was
I mean, you could
created
just
over
simulate it, you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be a parrot, but you know.
years of development specifically for
8
this
years?
console means that it uses every piece of hardware to its full potential, leading to that same feeling I got back in 2017 when Mario Odyssey first came out. 60
I'm still
FPS,
playing with Mario
beautiful
Odyssey, by the
graphics
way.
and lighting, a world cultivated specifically for Donkey Kong as a character, a pretty decent story as well. It never just felt so good to play a Donkey Kong game, and after some of the lack of love he's been getting as a character in his own IP, I think this has been great. I'm hoping this leads to other Nintendo characters
Nope, not happening.
also getting their due. My fiance has been running around in Animal Crossing New Horizons from the Switch 1 and runs perfectly fine just like it did. It was a Switch 1 game, so the biggest difference is it runs at a constant FPS and the loading times are faster, but not much else has changed between the two.
Yeah.
But hey, new Animal Crossing in 2026 possibly, so we can look forward to that. Maybe this time they'll finally change the formula more drastically because man, it is getting repetitive. Lastly, taking a look at the retro consoles on the expansion pack. It's all right, I guess. Look, I'm not a hater. Okay, that was a lie. I am a hater. But I just don't think the library is extensive enough to justify the extra price to get the more other expansion packs. Like the GameCube itself has 4 games when I launched it last. That's almost as many as the PS5. And then you look at
bro,
others,
chill
and
on my
they do
PS5,
have a
bro.
lot more choices, but when it comes down to it, the Switch 2, if you're buying it for the retro consoles, you're better off just emulating them because it's first-party games for the most part, and the expansion pack consoles don't have as much as even the free ones that you get with just Nintendo Switch Online. So just emulate them, honestly, and don't buy the Switch 2 for just that. Now, for my favorite thing to do with new technology, speculate on what I think will happen so I can justify my purchase. Yay! First up, I want more customization options.
Not happening.
I think the joy of having a console is making it feel like no one has the same console. And I'm not talking about physical, like, you know, putting stickers on it and stuff. No, I'm talking about
AI.
in
Is
the
that AI?
actual
UI.
software. Give me a color
The
option
UI.
for the menu first. I do not want just white and black. I
Black
want
and
multiple
white.
colors, and I want to be able to make it my favorite color. Give me even the ability to unlock character-specific
We're twins, bro. Purple is my favorite color too.
themes where my background would be themed based on a game that I 100%ed or I played a lot of. If I 100%, I don't know, Donkey Kong Bonanza,
Or like the achievement, something, bro.
give me a special background on my Switch. That would make it rewarding. Or, you know, give me the damn option to turn my menu into the Wii menu. That would be enough. I genuinely think if Nintendo could nail customization on the Switch 2, it would make this thing just way more enticing to a younger audience who really enjoys that aspect of it like me. I want Mario Galaxy 3, or at least something similar. Donkey Kong Bonanza has gotten me my Mario Odyssey style fix, so I don't want Mario Odyssey 2 per se, but I want something like Mario Galaxy, maybe even Mario Galaxy and Mario Odyssey combined. The fun of Mario Galaxy was how free.
Wait, no, low-key they might, because like they released, re-released $70 by the way. Mario Kart Mario Galaxy
felt
1
like
and
I
2.
could finish half of one world, say, I'm so over this, this sucks, and then go collect stars in another world. It was such a unique and free feeling
Yeah,
that no
bro, it
other
was
game
pretty
really
cool.
captured for me, and it was my first 3D Mario on the Wii that
Same,
really got me
same,
hooked
bro.
into the Wii
The
ecosystem.
Wii, yeah.
Mario Odyssey got close, but I still felt a little pigeonholed
Really?
into a path that the game was recommending to me, and honestly, with how many moons there are, it felt a little overwhelming. Also, Mario Galaxy is
Oh yeah,
the greatest Mario game ever created.
because you should be nice to Mario Galaxy, but bro, I'm still stuck in the freaking world number one because I need to click like 30 or like 40 more freaking stars or something. Like, it's so
In my
dumb.
eyes. It took advantage of the Wii's motion controls so well. It felt so seamless. So that's definitely influencing my buy it. And flying through space and
Yeah,
using all those different upgrades. Also, Mario Galaxy gave us Rosalina. Like, come on, that's a W. And
bro, those things to
lastly, I
go.
just want a new Fire Emblem game that is as good as Three Houses. Please, I am begging
Mm-hmm.
on my knees. Just give me a new Fire Emblem game that has a story I actually care about. Engage's gameplay was awesome, and Three Houses' story was awesome. So just combine them, and boom, 60 FPS Dream Fire
And bro, I'm engaged. I rage quit it so bad, bro. I've been stuck for in like this desert level, bro.
Emblem
It's
game.
so
Why
annoying.
is it so difficult? This franchise is one of my favorites, and I swear if they mess it up, I am not going to say what I do. And that is about it. I am enjoying
Aren't they gonna make like a new Fire Emblem?
the Switch too, but have many things I hope they add to improve. If I had to give like a verdict, I believe it's worth the purchase with the huge asterisk
Yeah,
of I had the original Switch that came.
basically, bro. He likes it, but like to an extent, if that makes sense. Uh, if you have the money, the resources, and if you really want to switch to, just for Donkey Kong, get it. Besides that, like myself, like I do want to play the game, but nah, I'm not upgrading until like the older or something comes out, or like it goes down on price, which is probably gonna be never. Um, besides that, I'm not getting that. I'm probably gonna get a Steam Deck before that, if I'm being completely honest. But anyways, this is freaking amazing. Like in the video, it was 3 months, 2 months ago, by the way. Amazing video from Orion. Yeah, yeah. See, this is pretty cool. I like that, but I find myself hardly ever using the dog mode. Oh wow. Yeah, but oh, he had 200 subs like 2 months ago. That's crazy. For anyone want to know, it's not worth it. I have one. Let me see. Yeah, right now there's no. It's not worth it right now. Right. Yep. Anyway, yeah, that's it for the video. I like the video. Freaking cool, informative. Thanks for watching. Sub and like. Sub to him too. Bye.